Hi, and welcome back, and thanks for being here as we wrap up this week with this Friday's edition of Your News Today. It may have been a shortened work week for us here, but it's not felt as such. And we're going to try to get in as much news as possible into tonight's program. Weather-wise, we just wrapped up, says the National Weather Service, the third warmest spring, the fifth wettest May at Jackson, and currently high pressure keeping us high and dry and warm through at least Saturday night, and I'm hoping through maybe part of your Sunday as well. And then low pressure moves in, takes charge, and gives us showers and possibly some storms and some cooler air. I'll update your forecast, which is on a drier trend for your weekend, mind you, in just a few moments. Headlines for tonight include, but are not limited to, more details on the South Carolina man arrested on attempted murder and other charges in McGoffin County just days ago. I've got some details and a picture to share from Chris Stapleton as to why he's had to postpone some shows. The bear that was struck on 23 yesterday, a woman jailed on assault and disorderly charges after throwing coffee on two employees at a local restaurant in Sagersville this morning. A great story from the McGoffin County Senior Citizen Center and how they're inspiring a lot of folks to get out even more so on the Dawkins Trail. Really, really great story. And another project on a Sagersville road in addition to the Parkway project early next week will further add to congestion, and I'll give you a word of caution and warning in just a few moments, and I've still got more. And on last night's program, I brought you 3 of the 7 indictments returned yesterday by McGoffin County Grand Jury, saying that we would air the rest of those tonight. Just had an update from authorities a few moments ago. They still have not been able to serve all of those, and a few of those they suspect the individuals may attempt to flee. We'll hold those until Monday. I've got a school board meeting I'm still sitting on from earlier this week, and already other news planned for early Monday and Monday night when the city council meets on Monday. So busy night tonight, and looking ahead certainly early to next week as well. The county-wide cleanup, real quickly, just a reminder, I don't have it on the calendar tonight, starts next Monday here in McGoffin County. It's Magisterial District 1 next week, District 2 the next, and District 3 thereafter. If you have any questions, call the McGoffin County Judge's Office, and you can also bring those items in throughout that 3-week period to the Rumpke Service Center. But if you want it picked up, it will be through those 3 designated weeks for your specific area. Right now, some updates that we were able to get about a man from South Carolina arrested in McGoffin County on a Richmond, Kentucky warrant on attempted murder, kidnapping, and other charges. I gave you the initial report days ago when the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department took him into custody at a residence on Lick Branch behind Lee's Famous Recipe and the Dairy Queen. We have since learned some more details about the incident that led to that indictment. According to the Register out of Richmond, the incident took place on the course or over the course of 2 days back in the middle of May of this year when 29-year-old Andre Penderman and a female victim who's been unidentified thus far got into some sort of an altercation over the female's Facebook account. During that altercation, Penderman reportedly threw the victim's cell phone onto the ground and it just shattered. And then after he tried to buy drugs from that female and she said there were no drugs to be bought, the altercation got worse to the point that Penderman reportedly strangled the woman, shoved her or threw her into a couch. She struck her head. She became unconscious for a period of time, and then when she started to come to, Penderman grabbed her again by the arm and then pulled her into the basement of the home and held her there against her will for several hours. No food, no water, no communication with any others, behind a padlocked door and with him blocking her way out as well. And as she was screaming at him, he reportedly stated that he couldn't go back to jail, and it looked as though he was just going to have to kill her. Throughout the investigation by authorities, they found marks where he had strangled her around the neck. She was bruised over much of her body, and then he fled after he stole the victim's car. He also, after all of the charges he faces now, attempted murder, kidnapping, theft by unlawful taking of the automobile, criminal mischief. He's also charged with being a persistent felony offender for having 2 felony convictions in the past 5 years. He was taken into custody by the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department, as I told you, at a residence in Sagersville days ago, and then taken to the Madison County Detention Center, where at last report he still was. It's amazing how a little context can go a long way. If I were to step out of the office, maybe you step into your backyard and there's a big black bear sitting there, fear is probably going to be the first emotion that you would experience. However, when you see photographs like these taken by a viewer on 23 yesterday, maybe not so much. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Yeah, seeing that animal in your backyard or in your environment could be very, very frightful. Here, you can't help but feel somewhat sorrowful for the animal. Black bear sightings have become more and more common over the past several years, and this one happened yesterday to the demise of the bear on 23 on what I will always call the Holiday Inn Hill, even though it's not the Holiday Inn anymore. Nevertheless, a lot of motorists were traveling on 23 yesterday. One was a woman whose car came into contact with the bear after it crossed over in front of her. The bear was still alive, but upon arrival of Kentucky Fish and Wildlife officers, they did have to put it down, and I believe did so on scene. But certainly a scary and frightening sight for motorists, and not an unheard of one in eastern Kentucky or elsewhere, and that does, of course, go to saying this time of year as well, as bears tend to be on the move. That is a Pike County cruiser there in front, but it was just passing through. The incident did take place just outside of Prestonsburg on 23. In a local arrest, the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department, specifically it was Deputy Jonathan Holbrook taking the call, responded to a complaint of a customer who had assaulted 2 employees at the Sagersville McDonald's earlier today. Jonathan Holbrook says that he, in his police citation, responded to the call after it came into 911 and found a vehicle matching that description traveling on Route 40 just above the newsroom a short distance, and found inside the female who is accused and was jailed on assault and disorderly charges for throwing coffee on 2 employees. Records indicate that Rebecca Lamb, 50, I believe, from Jackson, had gone to the Sagersville McDonald's, had left, but then returned and came in the store with her grandchild, who was approximately 10 years of age or so, and was upset over an order that she said was incorrect. But she went back in, there became a heated discussion, and at some point she threw a coffee, which was cooled down a bit, I'm told, by several creamers, which had been added, fortunately, but threw a coffee on 2 employees, hitting one in the leg, one elsewhere, both suffering no injuries, I do believe, minor at most. Nevertheless, she used some profane language and the same acts and left the scene, got in her car and left. The vehicle matching that description was found, as I said, on Route 40. Deputy Holbrook made a traffic stop. The husband was in the vehicle and was unbeknownst to him of the events that had just taken place. Nevertheless, Rebecca Lamb was arrested and charged with assault in the 4th degree, minor injury, and disorderly conduct, and she was jailed in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. Well, there's certainly a whole lot going on. It's going to be that way for years in regards to the Mountain Parkway expansion project. I've got another project to add to that mix starting early next week. It won't last near as long, but for a few days, traveling through downtown Sagersville and on Parkway Drive will be a bit more of a chore. Yeah, a whole lot happening at the same time. Of course, the Restaurant Row project, part of the Mountain Parkway expansion, in high gear, and it will be that way for the next few years, but a lot of earth being moved, a lot of utilities being moved, and a lot of work going on in the Restaurant Row area, and that does bleed over onto Parkway Drive for a little while, and it's Parkway Drive where there's going to be some work happening next week. Starting on Tuesday, they're going to be doing a resurfacing project. They're going to be milling up the blacktop, basically from one end of Parkway Drive to the other, if you will. They'll start there at the red light at the intersection of Parkway Drive and the Mountain Parkway, and they'll go all the way down to the traffic light downtown. They didn't give me an estimate as to how many days or how long the project would take. However, you can count on it being at least a few. As for my understanding, they'll be milling, I believe, all 3 lanes and then resurfacing the entire stretch of roadway. Once again, from the red light there on the Mountain Parkway at St. Luke's Catholic Church all the way to the downtown Sagersville red light. a lot of other local headlines, and some good ones, mind you, coming up in just a few moments. Right now, a pretty good excuse or reason for Chris Stapleton to have to postpone some shows. Pick that he has shared on his website gives us a perfect explanation as to why he's had to call off taking to the Charleston Civic Center and about 8 or 10 other shows after a hand injury. The Charleston show has been set for later on this fall, November the 2nd. It was reset from June the 15th. He's going to be out for a few weeks. His statement said that, quote, after seeing a specialist, I have some information to share. I'm on the road to recovery from a broken bone with a detached tendon, sounds painful, in my right index finger, and the doctor is hopeful that with some physical therapy, I'll be playing the guitar again soon. Right now, I possibly can't give you guys the show you deserve. I'll always want to give you my very, very best. So about 8 different dates have been reset. They were set to be the first few weeks of June, now be later on in the summer and fall. And they say, hold on to those tickets. If you got them, they're still good. Just the date has changed. He didn't say how he hurt his finger. Who knows? Might be a funny story. Might not. Nevertheless, he'll be back on the road before you know it. Going on to tonight's calendar before we get to the rest of our headlines, birthday wishes, big birthday wishes tonight. Happy 60th birthday to Ronnie Harmon with a lot of love from Linda, from a whole lot of family and friends too. Happy, happy birthday to you. And birthday wishes going out tonight to Will. Will, I'm not sure why your name is not on the screen. My apologies. Maybe it'll pop up here in a second. Will Mead, 6 years old today, and with a lot of love from Mom and Dad and Holly Kate, Granny and Paul, Auntie and Neil. Happy birthday to you. Will Mead, even though his birthday is not showing up on screen, my apologies, celebrating his 6th birthday today. Happy birthday, Will Mead. Don't forget about the yard sale and bake sale at the Lakefront Church of God over on Route 30 at the old elementary school. Starts tomorrow at 8. They've got a major yard sale planned. A lot of great food for sale. And it is rain or shine, but it's going to be shining tomorrow. Good day for a yard sale, and they've got a lot to see and a lot to eat. Sagersville Grade School's Family Resource Center is hosting their annual summer camp. All Sagersville Grade students are eligible to attend for free. It's next week, Monday through Friday, 9 till 3 at the school. Get mom, dads, parents, caregivers, give them breakfast, get them out the door. They'll get lunch and a snack at school. If you have any questions, call 349-1549 or 349-3411. Vacation Bible School starts Monday of next week, 5:45 to 8. That's Monday through Thursday at the Sagersville First Baptist Church. And also our friends up the river, so to speak, South McGoffin community activists are hosting an auction tomorrow morning beginning at 10 at the side of the old John T. Arnott Elementary School. Big auction. A lot of folks have donated a lot of great items for them to sell. And they'll be having hot dogs and desserts and a lot of good eats as well. So take a trip, join them, and see what they're doing to raise funds for a new community center to be built there someday. They're getting closer by the day. Starts tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. With that, I think that's all there is to say. I've got a whole lot of other announcements for next week, but time only allows so much tonight. So let me say this. If you've got an announcement you want on the show, birthday, anniversary, or otherwise, this is how you get it in. Turning to obituaries, 58-year-old Ricky Hilton of Old Burning Fork Road passed away Wednesday, the son of Bertha Joseph Hilton and the late William Paul Bill Hilton. He's survived by his wife Bonnie, son Ricky, daughters April Yance, Chrissy Howard, Cassie Allen, and a host of other family and friends. Services for Ricky Hilton will be held Monday at 1 from the Sagersville Funeral Home. Visitation starts Saturday after 6, continues all day Sunday, and up until services Monday at 1 o'clock. Once again from the Sagersville Funeral Home. So I get this call this morning to come down to the McGoffin County Senior Citizen Center because, as per Marlene Howard, the director, they were rocking it out today. Well, what I found was way off from what I was expecting, and I'm not really sure what I was expecting. Nevertheless, it made for a really great story. Colorful, too. inspirational, artistic, therapeutic. There are a whole lot of words that you could go to describe the rock painting and where those rocks are going to from the Senior Citizen Center. Some have painted before in school just on their own using different mediums. Some never have. Some have had other interests, maybe in quilting or what have you, that we of course have seen over the years. But they were all in this video painting rocks, delightful pieces of artwork to inspire others along the Dawkins Trail. Because what I found was one of the coolest stories I've had the opportunity to do in a long time. They were definitely rocking out, taking sometimes what are average rocks and some which are maybe not so average, and turning them into works of art to be placed along the Dawkins Trail for hikers, bikers, walkers, equestrians to stop and pick up and keep for themselves, and to inspire them to remember their visit to the Dawkins and maybe to come back and visit again. I'm told it all started with some inspiration from a man in Johnson County who has been doing the same thing, and I'm told there are folks in other parts of the state who are painting rocks and placing them in special places to brighten someone's day.
My mom she's very into painting, and she decided one day as she looked at a rock that she wanted to paint one. We started painting the rocks, and she had the bright idea of putting them out on the trail, hopefully to get people to start walking a little bit and maybe discover a little treasure on their way. And once we did that, people kind of caught on, and we wanted to share that.
And they instantly knew the best place to go, to the Magafa County Senior Citizen Center. A bit of a family connection there as well, but nonetheless a group of ladies and gentlemen who have instantly taken to their newfound hobby. Some have painted before on canvas, on paper, using different mediums. Some had never painted before, but have still expressed their artistic flair, maybe in quilting or by other means. But all are enjoying placing these little bits of sunshine along the Dawkins Trail and the time that they spend together doing it.
I've been painting most of my life ever since a little girl, and self-taught, mostly self-taught. Took a few art classes at the college and learned perspective. But as far as painting, I've done china painting, oil painting. Now we're painting on rocks at the Senior Citizens Building.
This is my first time painting on rocks. I've painted on, canvas, but this is my first time on rocks, and I really like it. Very relaxing.
It's very, if you're a person that is trying to relieve stress, this will definitely do it. And there's a lot of self-discipline goes into this as well. And believe it or not, this is actually a easier canvas if it's a smooth rock than actual canvas to work on, and that's why it's really nice. And it's cheap.
Does the rock sometimes pick you as far as the shape or the design? How's that work?
Yes.
Or you have something in your mind.
When you see a certain rock, you can see a certain picture in that rock.
It gives you that image.
Images that they, and with the help of some volunteers who tend to take to the trail quite often, just plant in little, plain, easy-to-see spots along the Dawkins Trail to be found to someone's delight.
I hope it makes them happy.
Yeah, it puts a smile on somebody's face.
Right.
Smiles that they also have another way of sharing. They don't just paint the rocks and then place the rocks on the trail, but people find the rocks and then they let people know where they found them and the smiles that they brought.
We have a Facebook page, and so they can actually put their pictures up after they find the rocks, and they have expressed how happy they are, and we also put who made the rock on the back so we can share it with the seniors that someone found it.
The seniors are loving it when I bring in and show them so-and-so in Paintsville found your rock. There was one lady that lives in Royalton found a rock, and she said they had a foreign exchange student and he was going to take the rock back with him. So they really love being able to know that other people are looking at what they've done. They're enjoying it, they're finding it relaxing. Some of the other activities that we couldn't get them involved in, we're getting them involved in this.
I think too, it encourages people to get out on the trail and walk and exercise. So I think that's the thing behind Marlene doing this is, she's doing two things. You're finding something pretty, and it helps people exercise. You're walking, and then at the same time you're looking for these rocks. So that's going to encourage you maybe to walk more.
I'd like to see more people painting and putting them on the trail, and maybe potentially moving them to other trails in the area, because I think that that's a big part of it. Just getting the opportunity to see people that are walking and discovering, and they get to express their creativity, as well as they're doing something that's healthy, and they're doing something that is really just very involved, like you could do it as a family. And I think it's a really good activity, the painting in and of itself, and putting it on the trail. And we want you to like us on Facebook. It is Rockin' the Dawkins Line. Just look it up on the search bar.
And I gotta make one more little note. I was just, as you can see, I went and shot this video today just to have for a little bit of B-roll here on the Dawkins Trail. I only covered 100 yards or so, but the whole time I'm walking, I'm looking down for a painted rock. I'll be right back. With last night's championship game, girls softball is over and done for the 15th region, and it was Pikeville who would come out on top of the ladies from Johnson Central, 11 runs to 4 in the 15th region championship. That means Pikeville goes on to the state tournament. They will take on Madisonville North Hopkins next Thursday at 7. Now, Madisonville is the second region champion, 33-5, top seeded in the second region. So Pikeville will have their hands full, but Pikeville themselves 30-6 on the season, as Central will wrap it up at 17-10 this year. Job well done to all of those ladies and teams. Here's pretty much a job well done weather-wise, either by myself, the National Weather Service, Mother Nature, whoever you want to give the credit to, give it for a pretty nice weekend ahead. Yeah, no complaints here. Hard to find any faults in it or what else you might want from a forecast. It will be a little bit cool tonight. I mean, down to 49, under clear skies. That fog is going to stick around for a little while longer. Not so much tonight, but in the morning. But in the morning, we'll see sunshine quickly burn it away. 82 for your Saturday, 58 for tomorrow night's low. Continued clear skies. Now, the only if in your weekend comes, well, Sunday, and hopefully not necessarily too early. Right now, the window is this. 82 and sunny on your Sunday. After around 4 o'clock, we work in only a 10% chance of some showers. So I think we'll have most definitely a gorgeous day tomorrow. Sunday, maybe all of it, but definitely into the later afternoon hours. And, of course, that time frame could change. But right now, that's what we'll go with. A 10% chance after 4 on Sunday. A 20% chance later on that night is all. 82, 62 for your high and low. And speaking of lows, low pressure rolls into town. That's what's going to give us some cooler air and a chance of showers. Monday, we'll stick to the mid-70s, and I think that 78's probably dropped down to about 76 by now, and a 50% chance of showers. Also, Monday's forecast is not going to be partly sunny. It's going to be mostly cloudy in the most recent update. So I had a little wishful thinking there. A little cooler, a little more cloudy, and a 50% chance of some showers and storms on your Monday. Tuesday of next week, down into the low 70s, but mostly sunny and clear. And mostly sunny and clear again on your Wednesday, maybe late Wednesday night, maybe not. Another threat of some showers. And that's it. And like I said, already enough news to perhaps get through at least 1 or 2 shows next week. So we hope to see you then. For now, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching.